We are
Check your
online. Double checking my settings, making sure everything should be good. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bad Fanfiction Night. I am your host, Remy McNeil. Joining me, as always, is the wonderful Twilight Guardian.
Hello.
Today, we are continuing with The Sith Resurgence by the infamous Lily Orchard. In the last one, really nothing important happened other than Rey and... I guess we had two different scenes. We had Rey and Aliana, right? Or is it Ariana? Which one's which?
Aliana.
Aliana, right. Okay.
Ariana is the other character.
Okay, I was gonna say
is unicorns.
I'm just gonna say in Japanese it doesn't matter.
No,
but
all we can say is they got, and no, not really.
Well, I was gonna say
last week, one thing of important happened. It was set up for Yuri shenanigans when they're alone with an unconscious.
No, it wasn't just
Gamlin.
set up for Yuri shenanigans. It was a very questionable setup for Yuri shenanigans.
I only barely remember because this entire fanfic is just so awful. Well, did Rey learn the game, right?
Remember Twilight was talking about how concerning the setup was for this entire scene.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we also found out that Rey was racist and Aliana was speciest.
Oh yeah, that too.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like they're gay, so it's that comes second, obviously.
Here's my question. Is this like the most accurate part of this fanfic to have a million red flags in a relationship in Star Wars?
Yes.
Possibly.
Huh.
Arguably, yes.
It'd be
Okay, I'm
more
getting to.
accurate.
Okay, what do you mean when you say
Right,
that?
because Luke and Leia.
Look at Anakin and
also-
Padme.
I mean, she
Oh.
has a red lightsaber, so like the red flags are kind of there.
You know what? You said Anakin and Padme, and that's all I need to hear, really. Yeah, that is pretty on brand for Star Wars.
Wait a minute, are red lightsabers the red flags of the Star Wars universe?
No, just Anakin Scott.
the joke died.
Oh my god.
I was gonna say though he's just 9 and she's 14. Yeah, he's probably gonna marry her someday.
Why?
A man of culture.
This here
I don't get it.
Anakin guy, maybe
We'll
later,
send you the
someday
link.
later.
Okay. So
Okay.
just actually summarizing what happened last chapter, because last chapter was boring aside from the actual entertaining conversations.
What entertaining conversations.
Well, entertaining in the way that they were bad. I believe we had the Kylo. We had that was on board the Supremacy or whatever. The fucking
he was molding inside the ship.
right.
He was
and,
coping and seething.
and then we also had Rey and Aliana stopping off at the Resistance base. That would have basically been the thing that they needed to take BB-8 to anyway, but they just decided to not take BB-8 there for some reason.
Watch now, the lesbians
Watch
are planning.
BB-8 show up in this chapter.
No, they've left. They're off.
Yeah,
on
they
their
left,
way
dude.
Oh, yeah, they're
to,
gone.
They're off to
They've
Maz
been
Kanata's
gone.
because the actual main plot needs to happen, even though it didn't ever need to happen. Like the entire thing was like we got to get to a Resistance cell. Except we know where a Resistance cell is, so let's just not go there and say go to Maz Kanata, who knows where a Resistance cell is. Because I heard you like Resistance cells, so I put a Resistance cell in your Resistance cell. Anyway,
Stop.
Of course.
Classic meme.
Just dump the droid and be done with it.
I
know. Why does it have to be so complicated?
I meant to go through this chapter and find another middle point, but again, I have not thought far enough ahead. Let's see, we're on page 55.
There's a stopping point fairly early in this chapter, actually.
Oh,
and
yo, is that
then-
art?
Okay, so there's 10 pages. There are 10 pages to this chapter. So roughly somewhere on page 60 is where we'll swap off, I think.
Okay.
Just because
This is a relatively short chapter.
Thank God, because I have had a hell of
I
a
know.
week
We were
getting
all
things done.
reeling from the coming out reveal of Aliana.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That whole
Oh yeah,
The
when she
coming
came
out reveal
out.
that definitely shouldn't be
I
looked
think,
into further.
I think one of either like Celtic or Twilight's exact words was that it feels like that they are infantilizing Rey.
That was
Also the
Twilight.
G word.
Yes.
Also
Indeed,
the G
yeah.
word. That was Twilight.
But yeah, anyway, so we're looking at about 10 pages, which should take us about, at this rate, probably about an hour and 15, hour and a half. So everyone sit back, get a nice beverage or anything, just a nice relax you. We do love your comments, critiques, and conversation, but we like it in only short bursts, so we can keep a nice steady pace. So if it feels like the conversation is dying out, or you're going to like stumble over your words, abandon it. Again, we understand. Sometimes thoughts just don't come quickly enough, but you just gotta let it die.
Do not worry, I won't hum into the mic this time.
Oh no, that was a boon. You can just do that the entire
And
time.
I
don't
didn't
worry,
know I was doing it, I
It
swear.
was soothing background
I
vocals.
felt
Come
absolute
on, man.
horror when I realized
The only
that.
downside is it wasn't, John Williams' score. So I mean,
Well,
like,
of
you
course.
got to do that.
Come on.
Anyway,
No, wait, wait.
No.
And
wait,
you just
don't-
copyrighted this stream. Great.
shit, you're right. Okay, no John
You
Williams. score.
idiot! You idiot! The Mickey Mouse feds are gonna be on our ass.
You violated our
the Musk-
copyright.
The
Well, in that
Musketeers
case,
are coming,
folks,
bro.
if you want to help Celtic pay off his
God.
incoming copyright lawsuit, then donate to his Patreon and
Oh
get
my
access
God.
to the Tundra Discord server.
We haven't even gotten 5 minutes in.
There it is.
Okay.
All right.
Getting it out of the way.
All
Love that
right.
so
Okay,
much. So
Let's
much.
Done.
let's calm down, everyone, and let's hop right into it. General Organa? Leia turned around and smiled at her longtime. The chapter's name is "Screaming Like a Stuck Minoc." For those of you who
What?
don't know Star Wars things, a Minoc is something that I don't know because I don't know Star Wars things. Anyway,
Okay, we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
Great.
General Organa? Leia turned around and smiled at her longtime friend. You have something for me, Emmeline? Wait. Oh, it's been days. Okay, so General Organa. Leia turned around and smiled at her long-term friend. You have something for me, Emmeline? Emmeline, I guess. It had been several days since Poe had gone dark, and the mission to retrieve the last piece of the map had been classified as a failure. Strangely, the First Order had met a total defeat on Jakku, as an entire platoon of stormtroopers and starfighters had been completely obliterated, which, Jesus Christ, just laying waste to people. It seemed that Snoke had not yet managed to secure the map either, meaning it was still out there somewhere. Leia had been holding out hope for any scrap of news since. Yes, but it's odd, Emmeline winced. Poe Dameron was dropped off at a safe house. He was in an induced coma and recovering from several injuries. Wait, then who was the person that they met on the tarmac? I thought that was supposed to be Leia, but no, was that supposed to be what's her face?
Maybe.
Good question.
Not Maz Kanata.
Pink hair lady?
Mon
Mon
Mothma.
Mothma,
Yeah.
I was wrong. Wait,
Or-
isn't Mon Mothma like really
Was it Mon
old by now?
Mothma or was it the purple-haired chick from the
No,
Hold
they
on.
didn't.
Hold on.
describe
Hold
her
on.
hair
I-
color.
I'm just
I
trying to
don't-
figure out who you talking about. Anyway,
Yeah, it didn't mention the purple hair, so
You know what? It doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter.
actually matter at this point.
He was in an induced coma and recovering from several injuries. Leia's eyebrows rose as she leaned closer to Emmeline, her attention fully on the other woman. What happened? Did he have the map with him? Emmeline shook her head. He's still not awake, and the map wasn't on him. What's strange is that the woman who dropped him off. What about her? Leia asked. None of their forces reported locating or rescuing Poe from the compromised mission. As such, she could only assume he was rescued by a friendly third party. She was a Sith Lord, Emmeline explained, and one who has been making the rounds in the Outer Rim before. The only name I could pull up was Darth Omarosa.
Well, there goes that cover. Huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so
Like
you can just spot identify Sith Lords now. That's great.
Oh my god.
I mean, she had a red
guess,
lightsaber.
apparently.
She
Alright, yeah,
dresses
but let's-
all in black.
she did
All right.
reveal the lightsaber though.
Dude,
Okay,
if that were the
let's
criteria
tally
of
it
being
up.
a Sith, I'm a Sith.
Okay, let's tally it up. So this chick has negative Riz, negative stealth, negative charisma. Like her stat allocation is completely wacko.
Riz and charisma, the same thing.
Her entire stat allocation is into gay. I didn't know that was a stat. It is. It's actually surprising how many people neglect it.
It isn't in China.
Really?
Oh,
no.
Okay, you gotta understand. It
Yikes.
is actually in China, but it's just not accessible in China. Like they didn't remove it
It's a
from the code. It's
DLC
still
stat.
there.
Oh
You've
my
got to
God.
get
You
mods
gotta-
to access it.
You gotta torrent that shit.
Oh my
Um,
god. This is not what I expected when I came in here today.
Leia's eyes
Me
widened
neither.
as her
That just
blood
came out
ran
of my
cold.
mouth.
The Sith Lord was back. They had indeed encountered her in the Outer Rim and pursued her for a solid month before they lost her. The failure to catch the Sith or provide evidence of her existence lost the Resistance a fair amount of support from the Republic. Leia considered that the Sith, the first major failure of the Resistance existence. Okay, all right. So
Wait,
Several
if you
questions.
Can identify, wait, if you can identify who this chick is,
By
how in the
sight.
fuck could you not convince the Republic?
okay.
How
Apparently.
does that work?
Unfortunately, she had a critical failure in the Senate, but she rolled very high on her perception check here.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Also,
Um,
it's great.
makes
The
sense.
Resistance, our main protagonists, they just so happened their first major loss was against your super cool main character. Got it.
Of course it
let's-
was.
Let's not
Well,
touch
Lucy, what
on
happened
that.
to Leia presented the Sith, but what she really should have done was presented the picture of the Sith.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that makes sense.
Omarosa, Leia said with a groan. I knew that Sith would come back. But why would she bring Poe back to us? I don't know, Emulyn shook her head. But Paige mentioned in her report that she did surrender her lightsaber while on the station, and retrieved it when she left, and they had no complaints about the Sith while she was there. She was also accompanied by a girl who we think might be her apprentice. Okay, wait, I got even more questions now. Wait, okay, she surrendered her lightsaber. She actually willingly, you didn't bother to try and capture her when she
Wait.
surrendered her main weapon. Why does she know the locations of other Resistance bases if she's not on friendly terms with you? Why would she even consider going anywhere near you if you're a hostile entity to her? What is happening?
Wait.
Also-
I think I have one more question. They had the lightsaber, which means they could have identified if it was a working one or not. Which means they
Oh,
could have
really?
captured her while she was there.
Oh my god, Lightning.
Actually, I have a thought too. Wasn't it implied that Luke ruined her life
Did they check
along
for
with Luke's apprentice at the time?
Yeah, no, I imagine that's
guess
part of the whole
that's the
failure thing.
implication.
Yeah, but like,
yeah.
God, man, you'd think that every Resistance base would have a photo of her on their most wanted list.
You would think.
I'm just imagining like a security guard looking at her, then looking to the side, and there's a most wanted page, and it's literally her exact same photo of what she looks like right now.
It's that Family Guy gag when he's
Yeah.
crossing the bridge.
Yes,
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
much.
Okay, so, she was also accompanied by a girl who we think might be her apprentice. Leia's frown deepened. Having a Sith involved in one of their most critical missions was bad enough, but now they couldn't be sure where exactly she stood. The general knew that they couldn't trust Omarosa no matter what, but whatever game she was playing seemed to be working in their favor. For the moment, at least. Perhaps they could benefit from the Sith's involvement so long as they shot first before the inevitable betrayal. She was flying the same ship as before, yes? Did you get her comm channel? Leia asked. Yes, but not entirely willingly, Emulyn remarked. Paige had Slicers get every identifier for the ship possible. If you wanted to contact her, we can get a clear signal in. Also, she should be easy to identify. There's a bunch of penises drawn all over the ship now.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Bonus points for continuity.
Leia gave it a moment of thought. It was highly likely that the Sith was expecting them to hail her immediately. She did not like the idea of playing into her hands. Let's wait for Poe to come to. See if he can tell us anything about the Sith before we contact her. I want to make sure she's not the reason he's in that coma. I'll get someone to monitor his revival. We should be able to get something from him within an hour.
How long do you think he's going to be out for?
I'm sorry, I wasn't aware comas were a measurable thing right now.
He's
Apparently.
in a medically induced coma.
He's in a
So they
fuck
could just-
coma.
He's in the
Bring
pod
her-
chamber
Bring him
healing.
out.
My God,
There's a space medicine.
they bring him out,
And
and
there's
it's
a
just
space
like
medicine, Raymond.
endless screaming. He's just in constant pain. It's like, I was in
my
the
God.
coma for a reason.
The dude was going through Tsukiyomi.
Um,
Oh my god, yeah.
Good,
Yeah,
Leia
never
said,
mind.
turning back to the displays on her holo terminal. She didn't like this one bit. Her son was bad enough, but a renegade Sith? If there was ever a time she needed Luke, now was certainly it. My lord, Hux announced as he entered Kylo Ren's chambers. I have good news. Kylo turned ever so slightly to acknowledge the general. Speak then. We've tracked the Sith to a planetless star a few dozen light years out from Jakku, Hux explained. Long-range sensors show that she has stopped to collect fuel from the star and has been hovering for several hours. We don't currently know if any intercept is possible, as the ship's fuel capacity is not yet known to us, but for the time being, we have her on our sensors, and she appears to have a passenger. Kylo's brain racked with the information. If the scanners picked up another life form reading, then... The traitor is with them, Kylo deduced, now facing Hux completely. They have the droid on that ship. Keep them under surveillance and let me know the moment they make a move. Hux hesitated and then looked away from Kylo Ren. Actually, my lord, the only droid scanners can detect on the ship is a protocol droid just as ancient as the ship itself, and the passenger is a human female seen fleeing Jakku with the traitor. Just as Ren's thoughts process was picking up steam, it stopped dead in its tracks. Another human involved? A female? Why was this female not included in the captain's report? Sorry, I have to say it like that because they're trying to make them
Like
out to
a
be the
Redditor,
shittiest
yeah.
sexist a Redditor.
You have to understand, yes.
Listen, Space Reddit is a wild thing.
Space. Yes, Space Reddit. I go there when I'm not on Space Facebook.
Mercenaries
Yeah,
use
that's
that
where Tim
for
Curry
networking.
Don't you mean Spacebook?
No, completely different things. Sorry. What?
Yeah.
You don't go
Did
to.
you see this 101-year-old woman baked a cake? So inspiring.
As if it's as if it's bad enough that she made Kylo a bitch boy. Now she needs to make him an incel.
He was always a bitch boy, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Oh.
The incel part?
Okay.
He's played by Adam Driver.
The captain
Come on,
felt it.
Lily. Driver some slack. He didn't do anything wrong.
The captain felt it inconsequential, Hux said, displeasure laced in his voice as well. He has been reprimanded. The droid escaped Jakku with the traitor and human in one ship and the Sith in another. At some point, the humans swapped ships, and the other ship has yet to be recovered. Ren clenched his fists as he began to seethe. He knew the Sith was involved in all of this. Why distance herself from the droid when she must have known how important it was? Why take this other woman into her own ship? Was she trying to cut her losses and run away? No, that couldn't be. What was the Sith planning? Cut to Aliana and just being like, I need to cut my losses and get away. Just immediately, completely proving his assumption wrong.
No, it cuts to Aliana and she just like, oh shit, the droid!
His gloves hid the white of in his knuckles from how hard he was clenching his fist. After a moment of frustrated speculation, he came to an epiphany. She has taken this female as her apprentice, he said aloud. She is distancing. She's distanced herself from the droid.
Female?
Right. She's distanced herself from the droid in the hopes that we would follow it and allow them to train in peace. My lord? That sounds incredibly stupid, Hux asked, looking confused. I added that last part.
You have to understand, Lord, that sounds ridiculously stupid. Like, you're reaching so far, you could get across the spaceport with it.
I mean, in fact, we have more than one ship. We can go to two places at once if we really need to.
We can spare our TIE fighter, sir.
No. I saw the end of Kenobi. I know how we have to play this.
Oh, fuck off.
Ren turned around and faced the general, which turned out to be a pretty useless gesture overall since his face was still covered by his mask. What? No.
This
mask?
fanfic is a pretty useless gesture overall.
The mask is an intimidation tool.
I'm sorry.
fuck?
If a motherfucker is looking at me with a dark, scary looking mask, I'm sorry. I'm gonna be paying a bit more attention. Because I'm sorry.
Useless gesture. What? He doesn't have eyes on the back of his head.
Abandon the droid and the traitor, and track the Sith. My lord, the Supreme Commander wanted the map to destroy Skywalker and prevent the Jedi from returning. Ren snapped at him. The Sith are an equal, if not a greater priority. A Jedi has a code of ethics that makes them easy to manipulate and work around. A Sith has no such restraint. Track them, and do not let them out of your sight. Huck spit back any word of protest he might have had, straightening his posture slightly. Yes, my lord, he said, almost curtly. As the door closed behind him, Ren turned back to the helmet. Only 72 hours ago, they were under the impression that the Sith were extinct, and the Jedi on the... Wait, didn't you know who she was? Didn't you know who Aliana was when you met?
Apparently
She
not.
did, actually.
You sure?
Well, see, the New
I'm
Republic
pretty
kind
sure,
of
like-
forgot.
Yeah, kind of.
I see.
They lost their papers in a
I see
fire.
what you did there.
Lightning, you son of a bitch!
I see everyone in the story getting stupider now.
Oh my god.
That's pretty good.
A man cannot be stopped.
Bit my nose.
No, Moopa, you don't understand. He's a dark Jedi. Completely different thing.
Totally different.
Yeah. Also, the fact that she was basically, her and her family were basically slaughtered and almost killed by, the Jedi. Learning the history of that is going to be fucking wild, I imagine.
I can't wait.
is.
I, for one, cannot wait.
Yeah. As much as he wanted to believe in his own strength, there was no avoiding the truth. If the Resistance had somehow recruited both the Jedi and the Sith, nothing would stop them. Okay, on the face of it, the idea of one faction recruiting both Jedi and Sith to work for them and help them out in a specific matter, that sounds like it could actually be a really cool story of two diametrically opposed forces needing to work together. That could work.
They actually
This fic has not done any of the legwork needed.
The
They
Jedi
do
are the
that a lot in
diplomats
the
and such, and the Sith are the beatsticks.
They do that
Yeah,
a
this
lot in the
sounds
Old
awesome.
Republic.
She called him a shitpost with feet, which makes no sense.
There's actually a whole plot line in the Old Republic about a Jedi Sith alliance teaming up to fight this weird eternal empire. It's really cool.
That's in Star Wars: The Old Republic.
I know, but
The only
it's been
Star
done-
Wars content that she's consumed other
Yeah.
than this series.
Yeah, I guess.
Damn.
Kid, I need you up here, Han called out from the pilot's seat of the Falcon. They'd been in hyperspace for 2 days and had been taking it in shifts to keep the ship on course. Chewie had slumped off to the bunks to get some rest, leaving Han to fly alone for several hours while Finn and BB-8 worked on repairs to the ship. The Falcon had spent too long rusting in the desert, and constant sandstorms of Jakku had done a lot of damage to the internal systems. I appreciate the fact that she actually gets hyperspeed travel right. Because the new movies don't. It's just like instant teleportation in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, nope, not how it works.
There's this whole database online that'll show you exact times it'll take you from get to one end of the galaxy to the other.
The Falcon could
Oh,
still
that's cool.
fly, but would need more intensive maintenance soon if he and Chewie wanted to keep it. Finn looked up from under the floor as he heard Han calling up for him and briskly made his way to the cockpit. On the way there, he had a brief moment to consider just how insane his situation had become. He knew that life outside the First Order wouldn't be easy as he was branded a traitor for life. Still, he had operated under the belief that he would simply have to keep moving and keep his head down wherever he went. He didn't think he'd jump ship straight into the Resistance. The past 2 days had him considering what his options could be once they landed on Takodana. Would he be able to board a shuttle to nowhere and disappear discreetly? I lost track because someone posted something that I was confused by. 72 hours ago implies the last few chapters happened over 3 days and not the month we have been suffering this fan fiction.
He's right. He's right.
And your boy Neptune? Yes, exactly.
He can though, because no one can stop him.
No one's
He's too
fast enough
powerful.
to. Yeah. If someone can, they'd be called lightning-er in my hands.
This is why speedsters are broken in fanfics.
Oh
Or just take out
no!
the fan
Don't
fic,
open
they're
that
broken
can
in
of worms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a deep rabbit hole. Let's not go there.
My only comment on that was, in fanfics? Just fanfics?
Yeah, like I said, just the
That's
fanfic.
because comic writers know how to write speedsters, but that's another rabbit hole. Let's
Would he be
move
able to
on.
board a shuttle to nowhere and disappear discreetly? Time would tell. He didn't have long to continue pondering on it before he reached the cockpit. What do you need? He asked, sitting down in the co-pilot's seat. Take control of the helm and keep the ship on course while I try to get the shield generator back online, Han said as he turned his attention towards the control panel to his left. Finn took the controls and made the necessary course corrections because he knew how to do that. It was mundane enough to allow his mind to continue to wander because he totally knows how to pilot a ship, and it wasn't established whatsoever that he was barely comfortable operating the turret of a fucking TIE fighter anyway.
Hush now.
He'd originally thought about fleeing to the Outer Rim, but the closer he got to anything affiliated with the Resistance, the less likely that would be. A part of him wondered if Rey would think any less of him for wishing to flee. The thought caused a knot to twist in his stomach. They didn't know each other for very long, but a part of him didn't want to let her down. He shook his head of those thoughts. After what happened with Poe, his defection caused enough problems for everyone. The sooner he disappeared, the better off everyone would be. So, tell me, kid, are either of you going to come clean to your friends? Han asked as he tried in vain to fix the shield generator. Finn snapped out of his inner thoughts to look at Han. What do you mean? Finn asked, praying he didn't hear him right. Oh, come on, kid, I fought the Empire. I know the walk of a stormtrooper when I see one. Han shook his head. Are you and Aliana ever going to come clean to the girl about who you both really are? Finn slumped into the pilot's seat as Han spoke. He considered what his answer would be before asking another question on the forefront of his attention. Wait, Aliana? What secret is she keeping? Oh, kid, you really are dense, aren't you? Han whistled. The lightsaber, the spooky eyes. She's a Sith Lord. Not that Han would have any experience with fucking Sith
That's how the
Lords.
rebels identified her.
I was also throwing this out there. The only Sith Lord that Han really interacted with was Darth Vader. You know, the guy with the helmet where you can't see his eyes.
Nah, you got a sense, bro.
Totally. Also, fucking.
On his eyes.
That cooled down.
When you're a smuggler, just being able to stare at someone and just instantly vibe check them is a skill that you need to have.
I agree,
That's
but still.
actually no, I think that's actually a skill in the Old Republic video game.
That's so funny.
Oh my!
That's hilarious.
Even without non-canon materials or Legends materials, the only way Han would know about the yellow eyes thing is if Luke told him about Palpatine.
It wouldn't matter
yellow
either,
eyes. Who's
because
the one person who had yellow eyes.
Well,
in
it wouldn't matter
original
because she doesn't
trilogy.
have yellow eyes. She has red eyes, which apparently
Yeah,
are
that
quote
too.
unquote Sith, but that's not actually how it works, as many people in the comments have pointed out to me.
Indeed.
That's not how the Force works.
Precisely. You know, honestly, we should get that as a soundbite. That would be great to have as a soundbite.
Hold on. Do I have it?
Probably
No,
not.
please,
Damn it, I don't have
Kaiser.
it.
Okay,
Please,
all
yes.
right.
Kaiser,
Do
Kaiser, you failed us.
All right.
Do it. No balls.
Finn's eyes widened. A what? Finn said, shooting straight up from his chair. A Sith? We left Rey alone with a Sith? Han gave him a deadpan glare. Okay, I shouldn't really talk, Finn conceded, sinking back into his chair. I don't know why I didn't see it. It was staring me right in the face. Yeah, that girl's a terrible liar. Han huffed, pulling on another lever and smiling as the shield generator came online. Even if she hadn't gone full Sith when we boarded, it would have been obvious to anyone.
Which means this entire plot line is kind of pointless, ain't it?
Yeah.
Also, I get a kick out of the fact that Aliana having a shitty poker face is now canon.
Yeah. Finn's brow furrowed as the thought continued to rack in his brain. But we can trust her. I mean, she's been pretty helpful since I met her, and she's clearly not with the First Order. What's her deal? Probably the same as yours and everyone else's, Han said as he returned his focus to the pilot's controls. Just trying to survive in a galaxy at war. I don't know her whole story, but whatever it is, it had something to do, something in that made her uninterested in joining the First Order. And according to rumors flying around the comm channels, she wiped out an entire platoon of stormtroopers on Jakku. Finn sucked in air through his teeth. If he didn't make the call he made when he made it, he might have been on the receiving end of Aliana's wrath. Suddenly, any reservations he had about this defection had all but vanished. I'll have to ask her about all this when we touch down. Well, whatever
The
you
story's
do...
barely begun.
Yeah. Well,
Finally!
Whatever you do,
Yeah. How many
don't
pages is
tell
this?
the girl, Han said. The Sith had a thing for her, and that's something she needs to tell her for herself. Wait, she does?
For what, relationships?
Han has the loosest lips in this entire.
Han is
fanfic.
just out here as like, you like some dirty laundry? Here, I'll air it all.
Yeah, yo.
Honestly, I'm here for it.
You know what?
Yeah.
It's kind of based. Not gonna lie.
Millennium, fastest ship in the galaxy, big iron on your hip, 0 fucks. That's
If Finn
fine.
understood droid speak, he could have heard BB-8 saying something along the lines of, "Of course he does. Even I noticed that." Yeah, said as much herself. Han nodded. I can see why she wouldn't want to tell the girl right away, so it's probably best you let her decide when to do that. Finn slumped down in the pilot seat. Well, all right, but if she's going to hold back on her secret, so can I, he said almost defensively. Han couldn't help but laugh. Kid, it's not a competition. And even if it were, let me tell you something. You don't want to be the last person to give someone honesty. Ever. Finn sighed and nodded.
Han shoots first.
Yeah, you're probably right. Han seemed to be as wise as he was grumpy, which was to say, very. Finn knew he at least owed Rey the truth before he disappeared. He just hoped the last memory he had of her wasn't one of disgust or betrayal. Then something else clicked in his head. Wait, Aliana has a thing for Rey? Finn asked, looking confused. But she's a... Oh my god.
Oh,
we're doing this again. Because
Okay,
nobody.
All right. All right.
In the
all right,
galaxy
all right.
far, far
Pulling
away.
It back. Pulling it back. He is a stormtrooper. I actually figure he might not even have much of an idea of what relationships even really look like. I don't know what they look like on the First Order. But
Fair.
We do have a book that goes through that.
But did Lily read it? Probably not.
No.
a
Right.
book.
It's actually
She just
pretty.
probably, she just probably thought,
It's
yeah,
it's the
yeah,
it's
these
the
guys
Kama
are fascists. I
Trupta. That's
probably
what it
hate
is. The
gays.
Kama Trupta.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
But she's a woman. Han shook his head at Finn. Did they just keep you locked up in a room for most of your life? He asked. More or less, answered Finn. Yes, Aliana has a thing for Rey. It's called being gay. Huh, Finn said, staring down at the controls before shrugging. I guess I have a lot more galaxy to explore than I thought. Oh, wow. Oh, God, just opening his eyes immediately.
Atta boy, good job.
Good for you, Finn. Good for you.
Good for you, man.
I'm older than I
Wait,
thought
where
I'd
was
live to
book?
be, and I'm still finding new things.
If this is the moment where Finn is exposed to LGBT and that recontextualizes how he feels about Poe.
No, I absolutely
Yeah.
see that
That
happening.
be a
There's-
thing.
Yeah, but like
Knowing Lily,
the
that's
problem
probably-
is, this is Lily Orchard we're talking about. There's no way Finn and Poe are gonna hook up.
I
They're
don't know,
gay now?
actually. Like,
They're
I know
gay
she
now.
hates men, but she seems pretty neutral on Finn and Poe because they stay in their fucking lane, according to her, I think.
Wait a second.
So I'm
Poe's
wondering if she's going to
currently
be like...
asleep, and Finn might kiss him to wake him up. She might be doing a Sleeping Beauty thing.
Oh no.
I need this. I need this in my life.
It immediately
God.
refreshes the cooldown.
Oh my god.
If that happens, this is a 10 out of 10 fanfic.
100%.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I'm
You want
older
me
than
to
I
say
thought
it?
I'd live to
I've
be,
read
and I'm
this.
still finding new things. Han said, a slight smile on his face. I want to check how many pages are we at?
Who's gonna tell him?
15, 59, 58, 57, 56, 55. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, you know what?
1,
For
2,
a
3.
for a jarhead, Finn really is the best of us.
All right. So I think Twy, I'll pass it. I think I've passed it over to you now. I think.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, you got your sound clip.
That's not how the Force works. 0.
Oh my God, Lightning. Also, they're gay now. They're gay now.
Oh my god.
That's so
Hit you with the double whammy.
See, now the joke is funny.
Miss Beniko, I'm terribly sorry to interrupt, but there is an incoming transmission to your personal holo terminal, 2V said as he entered the cargo hold. Aliana looked up from the accelerator conduit as she was trying to piece together, looking confused. How did someone get my personal holo channel? I'm sorry, Miss Beniko, but I do not have that information in my databanks, 2V said, hanging his head in shame. How's this? She asked, turning to Ray to hold up the accelerator conduit. Ray narrowed her eyes at the conduit and looked at it carefully. Better than before, but wiring still needs to be closer together. They look like they're about to bust out of the shell. Aliana winced as she set the conduit down and stood up. I'll give it another shot when I get back. 2V, reroute the call to my quarters and erect privacy shields. At once, Master. When she was safely in her quarters, and she was certain that she wouldn't be hurt, she activated the holo terminal. This is Darth Amorosa of the Sith warship Fury. The image of Leia appeared atop the holo terminal. Hello, Darth Amorosa. This is General Leia Ortega of the Resistance.
Ortega?
Ortega.
Organa?
New character?
Cortana?
That's not.
General Cortana.
This is General Oregano.
This is
To
The
quote,
Spice Brigade is out in force.
to quote Sanji from the One Piece live action, oregano is for savages.
Captain Human, no!
Damn, he ain't gotta call out the Greeks like that, but alright.
Sorry, I'd actually woken up only like 20 minutes before Bad Fanfiction Night started.
Wait, were you taking a nap?
What a thing to wake up to. What a thing to wake
Hell
up to.
yeah.
I know.
Starting off
great start of
starting
the
off
day.
the day right.
Experience.
Mm-hmm. Alright, oh, now I lost my place. There it is. This is General Leia Organa of the Resistance. To what do I owe the pleasure, General? Aliana asked, tilting her head. And how did you get my frequencies for my personal holo channel? Our people are very resourceful, although it might have something to do with how you docked at one of our safe houses to return a resistance fighter to us. A pilot by the name of Poe Dameron. I want to know what prompted you to do this for us. It was en route, Aliana said matter-of-factly. I was on Jakku when Dameron crashed into the dune and he was recovering in my med bay when the First Order attacked the planet. Frankly, a lot happened on Jakku within just a few days.
You're a Sith, and you recovered someone willingly, free of charge, with no any kind of desire to harm them or extort them. You just did this out of the
You
goodwill
didn't-
of your heart.
You didn't force choke him a little
Did you
bit?
strap a bomb to him?
Honey, what are you doing? You're kind of.
Well, we
Not
did make a
doing a
stop
good
near
job.
LV-48 and found some eggs.
Oh, that makes much more sense.
And why exactly did you decide to help one of ours rather than the First Order? Leia asked. At best, as any of us can figure, you two would be perfect for each other. Aliana cocked an eyebrow. The First Order would try to kill me if I tried to join up with them, she explained. I'm a Sith. I have alien ancestry, and I'm gay. Does that matter?
Did I just?
I'm sick.
No, listen. Okay, here.
so-
Had me at the first two, not gonna lie. I'm so
Wait a
sorry.
second.
So,
Wait a second,
honey,
guys.
honey,
Here
I'm
to the
going
mind.
to. I'm gonna start my hollow phone and call who the fuck asked.
Exactly.
SNL
guys.
Mario Kart skit where it's I'm a Sith, and I'm also bisexual.
Listen, okay? Lily's mind works like this. Fascist government equals hate the gays. Okay? Simple math.
I
Yeah,
mean, to be
that's
fair, that is something you would think about, like, when it comes to thinking about, like, a fascist government. But something like the First Order probably wouldn't be really picky about where it gets its troops from.
I would just be like, Eliana, why are you giving them any of this information? Like,
I just so much
like,
against you.
like at the very least, if you were captured by people you thought were going to discriminate against you for being gay, if you hadn't said this here, no one would have known you had alien ancestry or that you were gay unless they started doing more invasive things to you. Like,
yeah,
Like oversharing is a tactic you could use, certainly, but
Not a great tactic, but it's a tactic.
How would they even be
like
able
you
to know
gotta
she had,
get the wheels going further if you're gonna overshare.
How would they even know she had alien ancestry? Doesn't she look human?
She looks completely human except for maybe her face paint, but that's just her not knowing what makeup is for.
Yeah.
They probably like scan her DNA or take a sample or something. I don't know.
Also, I mean, does having alien ancestry really matter? It's Star Wars. There are aliens literally everywhere.
Yeah, but
Is this trying to say like that the First Order just discriminates against all aliens that aren't human?
I
Pretty
wouldn't
much,
be
yes.
surprised necessarily because the Empire.
Yeah, the
was
Empire
kinda
did do
way
that.
as well.
Yeah.
But then that goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like, beggars can't be choosers when the First Order are supposed to be, like, trying to, like, gather everything they can. Because I remember in the EU, once, like, the Empire was weakened, they stopped caring about the whole no aliens thing.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Anyway, let's just move on. This is not a conversation.
We're getting bogged down in this.
oh, you gotta be shitting me.
Not exactly a winning combination for them, especially not with a lunatic Jedi running the place. Wasn't asking for your life story,
Thank
Leia
you,
said,
Leia.
disregarding the last part. Yes,
Thank
thank you,
you.
Leia.
Thank you.
You're fucking real.
Why are the Skywalker siblings just so based?
Yeah, yo.
They are based.
On a true
Even
story?
in this shitty fan
Okay,
fiction,
all right.
they are
yeah,
so based. How did they do
we're
it?
slogging
Stop
through
it.
this.
They're the only ones who are self-aware.
Guys,
Stop.
remember the rules. If I'm telling you to stop, we're at the point of stopping and we continue on. Got it? Good.
Got
Okay.
it.
Twilight, go ahead.
The pilot was sent on a critical mission to gather important data. If you have any knowledge on this mission or the data that you can't share with Tico at the safe house, I would ask that you give it to me. You mean the map? I don't have it, Aliana explained. The map is a droid named BB-8, and he's on a Corellian YT model freighter, with 2 humans and a Wookiee. We split up to make it harder for the First Order to track us while we take separate routes to our destination. And I can't disclose the destination over a ship's holocom.
And yet you
But
can
rest
give all this
assured-
information. Just
Yep.
Yeah.
But rest assured, General, bringing the map to you is my #1 priority.
It's not. It is clearly not. Anyway.
Leia sighed and shook her head. A YT and a Wookiee, eh? I take it you've somehow managed to rope Han Solo and Chewbacca into this?
What? No.
Their ship was on Jakku and it was taken in the escape. Solo tracked it down and boarded it, Aliana explained. I didn't rope anyone. It was circumstance. Leia was quiet for a moment. Very well. So you two are to rendezvous with a location that you cannot disclose over comms. What's your next step when you arrive so that Resistance can reach you? BB-8 has already disclosed the coordinates to Dakar. The Fury and the Falcon are both hot. So we're going to put him, a renegade stormtrooper, and a scavenger from Jakku onto a ship that isn't on their radar and send them to you. Assuming everything goes off without a hitch, BB-8 should be in your hands within a few weeks, Aliana said, her hand absently fiddling with her lightsaber. She didn't like being on holocalls with generals, especially Jedi.
Is that a regular occurrence for you?
How often does this happen? Like, what is your day plan?
Yeah, like, I mean, do you prefer holo texting to holo calling?
You're right,
Is-
Sky Slasher. She is really fiddling with that lightsaber of hers. You know, it just.
I should rather go on Hollow Discord.
All a Morse code.
Is
Oh
is
my
Leia
God,
considered a Jedi as well?
I guess.
According to
Yeah,
the
I
It's
love
Bible,
it.
been
it's
murky.
Jedi
She
training.
kind of is because she was trained by Luke, but she never like finished her training. But Luke never technically finished his training either. So I guess
It's been murky in like both EU and in Disney stuff. It's kind of like a as the writer decides. So
That doesn't even.
She's
I don't
a
even think that
general
matters
Padawan
because
at most.
this chapter came out before Rise of Skywalker confirmed it.
true. She's a Jed.
She's Jedi enough.
She's a Jed.
she's a Jed.
General Padawan, I
She
say.
hasn't gotten the eye yet, of course.
Yeah.
No.
There was a slight narrowing in Leia's eyes as she retained eye contact through the hollow. As Aliana's gaze did not waver, she nodded. Very well. What are you and your apprentice going to do in the meantime? She asked. My apprentice? Aliana asked, looking confused. I have no apprentice. The woman that accompanied you to the safe house, Leia clarified. Traveling in two is the general MO for the Sith. She isn't my apprentice, though she is strong in the Force, Aliana explained.
Why are you? You know
She's
what?
a-
No, you
Why?
just look. All right, the more information she offers, the more likely someone will use it to kill her. So you know what? I'm all for this.
We can only
Yeah,
hope.
you're right.
She's the scavenger I mentioned. In fact, both her and the stormtrooper are strong in the Force. In the meantime, we're going to lay low until we can find a ship that isn't being tracked. I believe I may be the reason your mission has gotten so much more complicated, General. That sounds about right.
Oh, good, you're aware of it.
Leia agreed. If there's one thing Sith are good at, it's making things worse. You especially have a talent for being slippery. Leia's posture then began to relax somewhat.
Oh dear.
Oh, Ray is in for a time.
No.
Slippery.
I'm ready for a rap battle.
Also, I was gonna say, so if your ship, if you know your ship's like very much being tracked,
Yeah.
why did you take it to a resistance base?
Yeah, you fucking idiot.
Oh no, everyone in that base is dead, you
You
absolute
just got Poe
moron.
killed after you tried to save him.
Eto bleh.
Perfect.
All right, then. We'll keep our scanners on looking for the Falcon. And I suppose I should thank you for bringing Poe back to us alive and mostly intact. He's one of our best pilots. What do you mean, mostly intact?
He was fine, wasn't he?
Well, I mean, he was unconscious. I think that's mostly what she's referring
And
to.
injured. You know.
He has
He
the
is mysteriously missing
Nah.
one of his kidneys.
I was gonna say one of his hair, but
It's like Aliana's like, that's how I pay for the quarter portions that I keep feeding Ray.
Oh my god.
To ignore
Oh my
just
God.
like the reason she has to keep Ray away from the med ward is because she doesn't want her to discover the ice bath that she has.
Aliana bowed her head slightly. It was no trouble at all, General. And I'll have your droid to you within the coming weeks. May the Force serve you well. This really confuses me. It's like, okay, so she's not a bad person, but they just hate Sith because no reason at all, I guess.
The way
I
Darth
wanna
Vader
be
listens to Darth Vader,
discriminated.
they're annoying.
Hey, the Sith are just misunderstood, you know?
Not
mean,
like, not like they
should-
murder
should-
people regularly.
Shouldn't Leia know by now that her dad was a
no,
Sith
that was just a
and
prank.
was converted back? So why would Leia inherently hate the Sith?
Because she never really forgave Darth Vader for all the horrible shit he did.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
she
because the
hated
Sith
Vader
blew up
even
the
after
whole
his redemption.
planet.
Not to mention this
Anakin's
is like a
ghost
random
came to her
person-
one time and she told him to piss off.
Not to mention this is a random person who she barely knows.
Okay,
feel like that's reason enough.
I love that idea of just like she's like sleeping and just like Anakin's like Leia, and she's just like fuck off. And just goes back to
Anakin
bed.
shows
And
up
he's
on
like,
her
all right.
birthday.
I just turns around to Luke and just like, I gave it the college try. All right.
Fuck off, Hayden Christensen.
Leia caught the Sith twist on the farewell and had to resist the urge to frown before the communication cut off. In her quarters, she leaned against the hollow terminal. She leaned against the hollow terminal's side.
Oh no!
You know, look,
And
like you know that something's going wrong with your hollow terminal when it's given verbal verbal sounds. Just oh my god, no! It's the fucking doors from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Ah.
I have a bad feeling about this. Aliana left her quarters with a bad taste in her mouth and headache. Talking to Jedi was always an excuse and an exercise in patience, as everything they said always carried this undercurrent of condescension. As much as she understood why the average person would be distrustful of her, that understanding did not extend to Jedi. Why?
Yeah, you dumb bitch.
Why
You're
not?
a Sith. You kill people. What? Also, pot mean kettle. Thank you. Come on. You're just as condescending as anyone else. You're the most
Kaiser, you
condescending
can't. You're not allowed to
person
say that. She is black.
So am I.
So am I.
So am I. I
It's
have
just
the
Flash.
N-word
Well, I have
back.
to understand it's a turn of phrase, got nothing to do with race. But that being said, she does look like a very angry black woman.
Oh no!
Ah, I appreciate that.
Someone got
reference.
it.
I appreciate that reference. Anyway,
Yay.
Clearly, Leia was more devious than she looked, as even with the channel cut, she wouldn't stop her. As even with the channel cut, her head wouldn't stop throbbing.
Okay.
Wait, that wasn't the Jedi. At least, it wasn't that particular Jedi. 2V, roll the ship now! She screamed as she came tearing into the cockpit. 2V obeyed Aliana's command without hesitation and turned the controls hard, causing the Fury to spin on the starboard side and narrowly avoid a wave of turbo lasers that were fired at them. Oh, that was close, 2V exclaimed. Excellent call, Master. Spinning is always a good trick.
you already
I mean, they're not wrong.
you couldn't
I
resist.
never said like.
You couldn't resist
You already
saying I have a
hit
bad
us.
feeling about this, and that within a fucking hair's breadth of each other. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, bro.
Spinning is a good trick. Come on.
I mean, I'm here for it.
Aliana's instincts had been right. A Star Destroyer had pulled out of hyperspace and began firing a full barrage the moment they spotted the Fury. Glancing at the fuel display, the Fury had enough for half a journey to Takodana. Rey, can you get us close to the destroyer? If we don't take out those guns, we're sitting ducks, Aliana said, sitting in the captain's chair. Not a problem, Rey said, taking the pilot's seat on Aliana's right. At the controls, she
just
quickly...
redoing the scene with Poe and Finn escaping the Star Destroyer.
No, we've already done that.
Yeah, no,
I mean, just, that happened off screen in the fic.
Oh yeah, you're right.
pointing
Maybe
out
you're
the-
right. Maybe she is trying to do this in here. Although I think there's actually a confrontation coming up. So
Yeah. At the controls, she quickly spun the ship around and moved toward the destroyer, spinning and swerving past the hail of fire that was being shot at them. Were the situation not so tense, Rey would be surprised at how precise her evasive maneuvers were. What did we suddenly have a POV switch?
I guess.
Yes?
I guess
Oh
so.
my god, we totally
Yes.
did.
No,
We're switching between POVs constantly.
See, like it's all this chapter is all about spinning. See, like the ship is spinning, and now we spun POVs around.
You're
What's
right.
next? I wonder.
it's like a record. It spins.
Baby, right round.
I'll
Exactly.
take it.
2V opened fire on the turbo lasers as Rey passed them, making precise shots on every turret. Rey had never fully appreciated having
It's Aliana.
Aliana had never fully appreciated having a droid for a co-pilot, but now in the face of the First Order cruiser, she was certainly grateful for 2V's processing speed. For an impromptu attack, things were going pretty well. And then they went not so well.
Oh.
Oh, good for you, I suppose.
Damn.
I guess
Shame.
should I pop out the vodka bottle, celebrate?
Exactly.
champagne?
Not everything is going.
The Fury just gets shot down, burns into a crisp. The rest of the series is just
Yeah,
about
she
Finn
just-
and his adventures. It's like
They just
That's
crashed
what's
into the. No, they crashed
Yes.
into the Star Destroyer and get blown up. And I don't understand what happened. They just ran into it. I did it.
Yeah, they just get
An
Okay.
ion shot from a cannon struck the Fury's main engine and brought the ship into a drift. The destroyer stopped firing once the Fury was disabled, and Aliana could see a small shuttlecraft leave the destroyer's hangar bay. This wasn't good.
No.
Ray, how fast can you get the thrusters back online? Aliana asked. Ray frantically began tinkering with the controls. I can't guarantee that I can do it before they can board us, but I'll try. She stood up from the pilot seat and ran as fast as she could to the engine room. 2V, stay on the controls, please. Of course, Miss Ray. 2V answered almost too cheerfully. Please do your best to keep us from being destroyed. The shuttle passed overhead and docked with the ship. Taking a deep breath, Aliana got up and poised herself to see the intruders, or rather, intruder. She groaned when she saw the docking port open and Kylo Ren stepped onto her ship. Aliana sneered at him in disgust. The stench of greasy Jedi could take months to get out now. I told you to keep away from my ship, Aliana growled. It's your fault getting involved in our affairs, Kylo responded.
I kind of want Kylo to have responded. It belongs in a museum.
Oh, that was so good.
Also,
oh my god, that works on so many levels.
Lightning is
Permission
back on
to
his
rant.
bullshit.
Question. Permission to rant when we get past the scene?
Maybe. We'll see.
Perhaps. I am no Caucasian.
Because I am.
This
I
is
am in the
officially the
unfortunate
Lightning,
position.
my dude. How do you do this so fast?
It's literally his name.
Twice.
It's so
That's
powerful.
lightning.
He's a wizard.
You could have
He
prepared
doesn't
these ahead of time.
actually have a keyboard. He just like his hands are actually like connected to a Wacom tablet.
I imagine like every time he talks, he's just hovering in the middle of like a magic circle, just doing shit.
He's got the.
He's a
orb.
literal meme wizard.
Kylo responded, the filter of his mask causing an echo throughout the ship. You thought we would take the bait and leave you here to scheme your next move in peace, but I knew you were too dangerous to leave unchecked. Aliana glanced toward the engine room, a very difficult decision before her. It would be easier to dispatch Kylo Ren with her lightsaber, but that would blow her cover to Rey. She'd been hoping to enjoy a few weeks on Takodana with both Rey and Finn before going back to her life alone in the Outer Rim. But now this Jedi had made those plans a lot more difficult to maintain. Why do you care about Finn?
Well, at least she cares, honestly. So
Everyone
frankly,
cares about the third wheel.
And yet you came here anyway. Aliana narrowed her eyes at him. Quite foolish of you, Jedi. The last time I saw you, you fled with your tail between your legs. You were foolish enough to let me live, knowing I would return stronger, Kylo countered, pacing around Aliana. And now you appear to have an apprentice aboard this ship. I wonder how she would feel about helping me kill her master and joining our cause. Rey, meanwhile, was frantically working over the engine. She could hear Aliana speaking to whoever boarded with them, but she couldn't quite hear them over hectically removing and replacing pieces that were damaged by the ion surge. Luckily, Aliana was smart enough to keep spare power conduits close to the engine. On the flight deck, Aliana herself was livid. You lay a single hand on her and I'll make sure that you die screaming like a stuck Minot. Oh, there's the
roll credits.
She
Also,
said it. She
I
said the thing.
I kind of wanted Kylo to also, other than that one thing that I already said, him running in, it's like, so you have come here to kill me. Aliana just being like, what? This
you
is my
you
ship.
came to me, dipshit.
Roll credits.
I'm
She
sorry.
growled. Her hands clenched tightly beside her and her eyes burning. The visceral rage and protectiveness radiating from Aliana did not escape Ren's notice. Aliana's power was only fueled by her passions, and her feelings for the scavenger were extremely strong. Any thoughts about recruiting the Sith died with this revelation. Now he was determined to kill her. So you were infatuated with the girl? Kylo Ren sneered. Now killing you almost seems like a mercy. That did it. I don't get any of this.
They Adam'd him. What do you
Okay,
expect?
all right, two directions. It's a mercy for Rey because Rey wouldn't want a fucking Sith pining after her, in which case, yeah. Or it's a mercy for Aliana because Rey is a wet piece of cardboard.
It's a mercy for us.
How he would know either of these things?
Technically, Rey would be a sandy piece of cardboard, considering where she grew up, but semantics.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
guess.
A piece of cardboard is a piece of cardboard, no matter what you put on it.
Also, she isn't wet until Aliana's done with her.
Is he implying that he's gonna leave her alive so she can watch him kill Rey and be sad about it?
I don't know.
That did it. Aliana flew her hand out and blasted Kylo Ren with lightning, who fumbled with his lightsaber to get the blade in the way to protect himself. Upon realizing he had his guard up, Aliana cut off her attack and cracked her knuckles. Well, come on then. I'll enjoy beating you into the dirt again, she sneered. Kylo wasn't sure why Aliana didn't draw her lightsaber again, although he imagined that it was just to mock him. Not wanting to waste the advantage, he lunged at her, his blade swung with the power of his festering hate and anger channeling through him. Aliana ducked down under his swing, and on her return to her full height, rammed her elbow into Kylo's unprotected ribs, setting him off balance again. Isn't he wearing armor?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, he's
bitch
wearing
has
armor. I thought
body
he was supposed to be
armor.
protected.
No,
I
see,
didn't
he
know that.
has a plate of food that he got from DoorDash, and it's ribs, and they want
yeah,
protected.
okay.
He just like knocked his.
Man, I
cafeteria
hate
tray out
that
of his
when it's like you don't have time enough to like drop your food off somewhere safe and just like carry it on you until you get somewhere you can just put it down. Like if I were Kylo, my first thing out of it wouldn't have been like, oh yeah, so I'd be like, hey, I got some ribs. Can I put them down so they don't get crushed in any of this? Okay, fine, thank you.
Nah, fuck your ribs.
Damn.
Still as slow as ever, eh, Jedi? She taunted. Ren bit back a growl and then began punching himself in the sore spot that Aliana just drove her elbow into.
Oh, come on.
Don't do. Oh my
Oh, look
god.
at me, I'm so edgy, Nick.
No.
Okay, that made sense in the movie when he was shot in the stomach.
Yeah, it's like
not when it was just.
That was arguably one of the best moments for his character, one of the best moments of that entire film. It's so visceral and visually well done. The acting is incredible, and you're just stealing it for, oh, I got an elbow ouchie in the ribs, as opposed to I got...
Okay, so I hear you saying that this scene was really cool and powerful, but I forgot about it. What movie was that in?
Episode 7. It's the part where he's literally bleeding out the side and his entire, like, he just has this moment where he needs to hype himself up, so he just starts pounding on the wound to actually hurt himself more.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, it's a.
How long has it been since you watched the film?
Since I saw it in
didn't know
theaters.
That's
probably
I didn't
why.
know that doing that can up your adrenaline,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, it's a super visceral thing, and it is. It starts the culmination of several big climaxes in that entire movie. But well,
I just got that. What happened?
He used the pain to fuel his anger before turning to attack again. Thank you for telling us about what he was doing. We wouldn't have known that otherwise because we're just that stupid.
Of course not.
I am.
Yeah.
Well, at least you admit it.
Most people don't want to volunteer that information.
Honesty?
I got an A+ for trying. I'm not stupid.
Despite his best efforts, all his blade was hitting was the durasteel of the surrounding walls. Aliana was effortlessly weaving through his lightsaber and getting a hit to a different pressure point each time. Two things happened on Ren's next feeble attempt at a strike. Aliana caught his wrist and wrenched it to point his lightsaber away from her, and then stepped close and wrapped her fingers around his throat. And then Rey came out to see if she was all right. The screech of Kylo's lightsaber tearing into the walls and floor had gotten her worried, and she came out to see Aliana strangling the Dark Jedi and holding the lightsaber arm in a useless position. Your potential girlfriend's about to murder somebody. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. She'll probably find it hot.
I was gonna say that there are
right?
two routes for this. Either it's going to be horrifying and it's going to make Rey like question everything, and they're going to go on this deep character path where she needs to actually learn to trust Aliana and her incredible power and prowess, or Ray,
Yeah, no.
that
Go
entire
rounds.
compartment is about to get flooded.
Yeah. Also, I'll give Lily this. She gives Ren the dignity of him being beaten in 3 paragraphs. So that's cool. That's a nice change.
For
Can
her,
I say
anyway.
can I say the small thing I was gonna say? It wasn't gonna be as much as I was like.
Be as
like,
succinct as
okay.
possible.
This doesn't get any better. I've read way far ahead back a
Oh,
couple
no,
years
no,
back.
no,
like,
okay,
when I s-
okay, stop it. We don't want to
No
know
spoilers,
anything
no
about the
spoilers.
future. No spoilers.
I'm not gonna go into detail about it. I'm just saying this Kylo Ren shit does not get better.
No, no, no,
We
no,
don't
no,
want the
no, no,
forecast.
I'm
no one wants to
gonna
hear
pause
it. No one
everyone.
wants
I'm
to
gonna
hear it.
pause. Telling us that is in itself a spoiler. You
Oh.
understand that, yes? Because you are giving us an expectation of what is to come. Does
I
that
really
not
expected
register
her to
for
treat
you?
Kylo Ren with any dignity?
No,
No, we don't want to hear it.
But all the
We
same,
don't want to
the
hear
depth that it
anything.
goes.
I bet. Sorry.
Why
All
would you
good.
tell us about literally anything about this fanfic?
All right. Look,
As
it's
a warning.
to clear, dude, we're having a great time here. It's
It's
fine.
bad fanfic.
It's
We're
bad fan-
expecting
We
cake.
come here for this. You're just telling
Yeah,
us
this
the
is
good parts.
This is ultimately a celebration of the worst of the worst.
We are all here because we're masochists.
No, not me.
Stop.
I was gonna say, no. I'm a
can only get
sadist.
so much
I'm
more
a sadist.
excited.
I'm laughing at the fix.
I'm just here to laugh.
I thought you were about to say you're laughing at us for sticking around while you read.
Well, I can do that too. I'm multitasking.
That too, yes.
I paid money for this. I am paying $1 per month on Celtic Phoenix Patron for this.
Same. Yeah, same. And you
That wasn't
should
me trying to
too,
plug in the
YouTube
thing. I was
viewers.
just saying a fact.
Okay,
I,
let
for
us
one, am
let us continue.
Yeah,
Like,
we
I'm
got
just here for the fixing Ruby stuff, but this is a bonus.
Aliana is unlocking
Okay.
Kylo's secret
Ray,
desire.
stop.
I literally said it, and then 2 people started speaking, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ren, desperately grasping for air and trembling with panic, turns his head to see the other woman standing just outside the corridor. Reaching out with the hand that was fruitlessly trying to extract Aliana's iron grip on his throat, he uses the force to send Ray flying through the air, hitting the metal wall on the far end of the corridor hard.
What was that tiny oof?
It was like
Twy was getting thrown across the room.
Oh
Little did
my.
we know.
Honestly, if Twy's reaction to getting thrown across the wall, across the wall is just an oof, frankly, I have more reason to be scared of her. Holy shit!
Just a Roblox oof.
Twilight,
You
get
underestimate her
Let's go
power.
into the
His
wall.
but a scratch.
getting thrown across the wall released my slight hiccup that was in my chest.
Oh, massive W.
Oh,
It ends up
Massive
being
dub.
it's not that bad if you hit right.
Yep. Alia, oh, that last sentence was really rough. Jesus. Aliana turned her head back in horror as she watched Ray crumple to the ground in a heap. Ray! She screamed as she slammed Kylo Ren's head into the wall and pried his lightsaber from his hand before running to her side. Ray, can you hear me? Ren's helmet was perhaps the only thing that kept Aliana from cracking his skull on the wall. His vision was speckled with dots as his legs refused to hold his weight. With somehow less dignity than his previous defeat, he scrambled to the airlock as fast as he could to his shuttle. Aliana glanced back, wanting to chase him down at the end of his miserable life, but Ray won out, and she set the lightsaber down and she gingerly picked her up and laid Ray's head on her lap. Ray, please say something, she whispered as her fingers ran over the back of Ray's head. There was some bruising and minor fracture. She only hoped that everything inside her skull was unhurt.
But
No.
now she's even more dumb inside.
There's something in her head.
That whole fight scene was so lame.
Yeah, it was
Enough of
bad.
this.
It was real bad.
It ended
You
too
know
bad.
what would have made it like? You know what would have made it like 50% better is if she did the wrist grabby thing and then remembered that Kylo Ren's lightsaber has laser cross guards that he could use
I feel
to
like
scratch her.
I feel like I blinked
And get
and
her off.
literally Rey was injured. I'm like, wait, what? How did I know she was in the room? But how did that? What happened?
Yeah, I
These
also
things
missed
happen,
it.
I hear.
Also, okay, let's count. His lightsaber is now on their ship. He's scrambling away to escape, and for some reason, his starship
Isn't
is
going
not,
back for his lightsaber yet.
Well, for some reason, his starship isn't, atomizing this much smaller Corvette.
Yeah, you would think
Yeah.
that they would be doing that while this is happening, but I guess
Yeah, I was gonna say you have to like stop the Sith and everything else and all that good stuff. And I'm sorry, explosions in the vacuum of space are really good at killing people.
Mm-hmm.
But they do it while he was still on board, though.
Okay, wait.
Leia.
The Last Jedi.
Shut up.
Oh,
Groaned.
How dare you bring out the perfect counter argument?
Guys, I'm reading.
Okay.
Sorry.
Ray groaned. Her eyes fluttered open to see two of Aliana and not much else through her blurry vision. Hey, Allie. Did you get the idea of that invisible speeder that hit me? What a bad joke.
Boo.
Aliana
That was a
breathed
joke?
one of the... Yeah. Aliana breathed one of the biggest sighs of relief that she could and gently lifted Ray into her arms, carrying her to the med bay. Why didn't you do that in the first place? No, but the Dark Jedi is gone for now. Ray let out a small chuckle before wincing in pain. 2V poked his head into the med bay. Master, the engine is back online. Should we commence with a hasty retreat? I worry the destroyer will send fighters at us once the shuttle is out of range. Hold on, Aliana said as she laid Ray down onto the bed. Making sure she would be okay, she returned to the cockpit to see Ren's shuttle speeding away. She sat down in the captain's chair and closed her eyes, reaching out with the Force. She could sense him in the shuttle, humiliated and dazed from the fight, scared at how easily she had overtaken him without ever drawing her lightsaber. Aliana fed on that fear. It was satisfying to know that she was floundering Dark Jedi, this floundering Dark Jedi was afraid of her. Mark my words, Jedi. The next time I see you, I'll kill you for that. I'm coming for you. Ren said nothing to the telepathic signal that Aliana put out, but she could tell that the horror he was feeling had all but doubled from hearing it. The shuttle pulled away from the Fury and began flying off at top speed. I thought he was already gone. He was already leaving.
He was.
I don't fucking know.
It's like it had to reach like a certain like ring before the pursuit like cuts off and you can finally escape the confrontation. It's like the whole game mechanic thing going on.
Kylo Ren had made a grave mistake today. He'd gotten on the bad side of the Dark Lady of the Sith.
He had it already.
As if she was on the good side before.
Wouldn't that just be the dark side of the Sith?
You're so cool. Hey, can I use the edge of your name to like cut my bread? I need a new knife.
Bazinga. As long as you don't use it to cut your taxes.
Kylo Ren's like, I just got my ass beat by a lady
and
Sith.
Zero-
I'm going to eat all these nachos.
Zero, you know what? I like The Last Jedi too. It's a good movie to turn off my brain to.
We can discuss this later.
If I hear some pointless background noise, I tend to put on Rise of Skywalker for that.
I don't even have to turn off my brain for that one. That one is just like an
As long
automatic
as you
dimmer
do
switch.
so- as long as you start at
That movie's-
after Palpatine return.
Look, dude, the Rise of Skywalker's pacing is too fast for anyone's brain to comprehend, okay?
The Rise of Skywalker is the first cinematic backpedal I've ever seen.
Yep, that's a general consensus.
Moving on.
Anyway, this chapter was just. What was the point of this?
Wait, that was the end of the chapter?
That was the end of the chapter.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
damn.
yeah.
I feel like I'm always
It
surprised.
just kinda
when the
ended.
chapter- I'm kind of always surprised when the chapter ends.
I felt like we were at 2 chapters.
It's just
I
literally
guess
just
the big conclusion that we have to come to.
So we've
is that Kylo
established
Ren apparently sucks.
We've established that Aliana and Leia are kind of on good terms, even though they're supposed to not be, and it's really confusing what their relationship is. And Aliana is is like me after my hardest breakup, where I was just oversharing literally every detail about my life to random people.
Yeah.
Like Aliana, no, you don't want to. People will use that information. Oh, okay, now you're gonna. Okay, go ahead. All right.
Yeah, we couldn't identify you before. I guess this will just make it easier. Thanks.
Also,
love that
whoever
reveal, by
said
the way.
the Rise
that
of Skywalker,
certainly didn't help her character out.
whoever said Rise of Skywalker was the first cinematic backpedal they've seen, I got one earlier than that. It was when Godzilla Final Wars backpedaled on the American Godzilla by having their Godzilla kill the CGI one in 12
Final
seconds
Wars is a
flat.
cinematic masterpiece. I highly recommend everyone
Nah, they
watch
did
it.
that with GMK first. But they
It's
said
so
that
good.
that's
I
what the
love it.
American experts claim.
I
I
have
have
a
zero
hotter
doubt.
take for a
JMK
cinematic
was more
backpedal.
of a return to form type thing. They just wanted, like, we just got to get this out to wipe the taste from our mouth.
We're not reading another chapter today, though, right?
No, we're
Please?
not. Oh God, no.
Oh, thank
Fuck.
God.
I
'Cause I can't.
Next chapter.
Yeah,
is
this chapter was pretty boring.
66.
Yeah, this is one of
I
my
like the
favorite
parts with Finn, but that
Next
So I think I
chapter-
figured it out, guys. I figured out why Aliana is such a terrible character. You see, I see. Like I was talking to Twilight last time about how to write a good character.
Yep.
And then just today, I think I stumbled across the what's a good word for like the big treasure? What's a good phrase?
The One Piece.
The One
I discovered I discovered the one piece of writing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, boy.
I'm going
Okay,
to pause you briefly and simply interject. I do not believe there is a such thing, but please continue to elaborate on your point, so I can tell you you're wrong with more detail.
Okay, so the key to writing a good character, and this isn't about like one that's well received, but writing a character that people will probably like, is to write a character that you can have fun with what they do. For example, you are able to write a character, and then you can proceed to think of the stupidest possible thing they could do that is still in character for them.
Okay, those two things are not at all related.
Oh no, I know.
The
That's just me
first
being
statement
dumb.
was you got to write a character that's fun to basically interact with or experience. That's literally just saying if you wish to have a liquid, it must be a liquid.
Yeah, exactly.
Secondly,
Is water wet?
yeah, and
For me,
the second thing is like the stupidest thing that a character will do is just like a necessary state that you would explore if you needed it. It's not a. You can have a character that's completely competent all the way through and not make any mistakes and still be relatively interesting and challenged.
Superman.
Well, like.
Settle down, son.
But I feel like when I say stupid, I mean like the funniest thing they could possibly do. That's still in character for them.
Oh, that's a different metric though. That's comedy, which is in itself not necessarily I think you want to go for because serious dramas exist.
The problem with Aliana is that everything she does is stupid.
Somehow works out for her.
But like none of it, and like I can just like see the narrative bending around her.
That's the thing you need to pick up on. It's the
Quite
whole
limber.
everything bending around her to actually make everything for her work out in the end.
She is the center of the universe. I don't want that. Please stop.
Which
the force of the story literally bends to her will, and it's annoying.
Hey, Kaiser.
The problem is that usually when a character does something stupid, it's to showcase their fatal flaw, like their arrogance or their lust or greed or inexperience. Having them just do something stupid for the sake of entertainment, I mean, like Raymond said, you can do it for comedy purposes, but, you know. What?
I'm sorry, no, it's lightning.
Lightning.
No, we're laughing at
The
you.
One Piece of writing is real.
I mean, the bare minimum, the character should I feel like if you want to make a character at least even a little more interesting, give him a hobby. This is something I realized from from watching the Force Snakes channel. Like he writes his own fanfics that are pretty good. Mortal Kombat Chronicles. He made sure to give Shang Tsung and Shao Kahn hobbies that they enjoy, because he thinks that just makes that would just make them more interesting as villains.
That's a nice thing to flesh
puppies?
characters out. But
Shang Tsung has a koi pond that he likes feeding.
Hold on.
Kai, what do you have to say?
Not like President Snow in the Hunger Games.
Dread,
and
I
his,
was
like,
giving Kai
flower
the
garden.
floor.
Exactly.
Okay. I was just saying. No, it's okay. I was saying that. Listen, Sky Slasher. Hold on. We know what Aliana's hobby is. She just shared it with Leia, just up front. Come on, man.
Those aren't hobbies.
Yeah, she has a hobby of an alien.
Anyway, yeah, this chapter was just more Aliana bullshit. I'm wondering if she's just going to do fucking everything in this fic at this point. Okay,
She is.
one thing.
Probably.
You know what?
Probably is, yeah.
I'll give kudos here. The scene between Han and Finn was fine.
Yeah, that was decent.
Yeah, it's a
The
good work.
only problem with it is that Aliana gets mentioned.
Yeah, basically.
You know what? You know what?
But we can forgive like one sin.
I was gonna say, you
out
know
of-
what? Even in this context, it was fine. She's
One
just.
sin, one grace.
She's actually doing Han pretty good.
I was gonna say, Han
She's actually
being
doing.
completely callous to anyone's desires to stay secret. He's just like, fuck you, kids. I'm too old for this. That's great. That's actually genuinely.
I'm
good
too old
characterization.
for this shit.
No, that's completely.
Yeah. Also-
one last thing in regards to Aliana though is that all of this stuff would be fine if this was just a dumb, fun fan fiction, whatever, where it's all like Aliana just doing cool shit and whatever, and we're not supposed to take it all that seriously. The problem is
We were supposed to
Lily-
take it serious?
I mean,
Yes.
yes.
Lily
The
wants us to
problem
take
is
this serious.
Lillian. Yeah, the problem is Lillian uses this as like material to cite herself as a writer, or that she
Oh.
understands writing in her videos. That's the problem.
I thought we were all in on the joke.
No.
Well, I mean,
Does Lily strike you as someone who isn't all self-aware?
This
No,
isn't like an
this
all
is not
straight.
the one piece of writing.
This
Oh
isn't
my
like an all
God.
straight. This isn't like an all straight man comedy routine where like the situation is just so fucking stupid, everyone is taking it super seriously, and that's what makes it funny. No, it's like she wants this to be taken seriously, so.
At
But
least
it's not
to a
because it's just
relative extent.
It's a straight
Like,
man
to the
comedy
extent
routine without the bonkers scenario to build on.
it's basically like Metal Gear.
I just can't wait for the Sleeping Beauty.
Okay, no, Metal Gear strikes a
I've
weird
got
balance.
some problems with that statement. 'cause,
Metal
like,
Gear is its own beast. That's a whole thing.
Okay, I know, but it's
Metal Gear is
I know,
Metal
I-
Gear. Metal Gear is Metal Gear. That's the only way.
Well,
That's
I
the
mean,
only way to
it's
describe it.
There's nothing
But I
like
mean,
it.
it's like
Metal
Metal
Gear.
Gear. Ridiculous.
Thank
Okay.
you, Mr. Incredible.
All right, we're kind of meandering all over the place. I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all had a good time. I did, and I hope you all join us next week when we continue on into the next chapter. Her apprentice will be mine, which I imagine has more soy boy.
Your
Pyro.
soul is mine.
Until then, I had a good time. Hope you all did too, and we'll catch you all on the flip side.